So you went and got yourself an AR, kind of like this one. This is just one of those low budget Smith & Wesson M&P-15 sports. But you're like, I've never messed with these things, so what do I do? What's the first step? How do I start my marksmanship journey? All right. The first thing you need to do is take this thing apart, field strip it, and clean it. Once you've done that, next thing you need to do is zero in the sights. And in this video, that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to get your firearm to mechanical zero. Front sight post there has a disc, and what you got to do is ensure that that is flush with the top of the front sight there. You want that disc around the post to be flush. You take a punch tool, right? You take a punch tool, either a Leatherman or even a bullet. Sometimes on the ranges you'll see nails, you'll see big wood nails to be used. And there's a detent right here which you push in and rotate the disc. Right is down, left is up, which is opposite of what this says. This says up, yes, that's true, but what that means is the up is the strike of the round, not the direction of the sight that you're gonna move, and we will get into that later as we make adjustments. Next is the Magpul Embus rear sight. It's a backup iron sight there. All right, little push down detent brings it up, and what we got to do here for mechanical zero is ensure that the center tick here is in line with the center tick in the middle, which it isn't, so we have to adjust that to make sure that it is right in the middle. So what we do is we rotate the knob until this detent is in line with the depressed line right there, the index mark. And as you rotate counterclockwise, the windage will move to the left, and clockwise will move it to the right. Once you've got it centered, right, you're good to go. And that would be mechanical zero. So before you even think about firing rounds and adjusting them, what we first have to work on is grouping. 4, 5, I'm using elongated steps. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Bam! The process of zeroing is, in theory, we basically want to like lock the firearm down. We want to lock the weapon down, and if possible even shoot it mechanically so that there's no way to induce error, right? So what we want to find out is, with the ballistics of a given round and manufacturing defects of a given product, where is that weapon firing? Using a consistent aiming point, where are the rounds winding up hitting? Once we establish where the rounds are hitting, then we move the sights to where that impact area is, right? And now, if we put the sights where the weapon is actually placing rounds, we're zero. That's basically the theory. If we can successfully determine, that we're shooting fine, our technique is proper, then we should be hitting a consistent area here, wherever that's going to be. So I'm going to save my zero target. I'm going to shoot this pistol target because it really doesn't matter. I just want to find out where the weapon is hitting. Once we're set, we're clear, we'll load. I have 2 9-round magazines, but we're going to go in between each set of 3 and go triangulate. Oh my god, I hope I have a pen. I should go triangulate the 3-round burst, and I'll be shooting that at the bottom target because I don't want to, I mean, I could shoot at the 0 target, that's fine, but I really don't want to waste it when it gets time to 0. All I need to know right now is where this rifle is hitting when I aim. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock and load. Move the safe selector switch to fire. Wow, okay. You get into prone and now you have all this room. Steady position. All right. And on the way. 1. 2. 3. Put selector switch in safe. Use your happy bullet and your stupid bullet button here in happy California. Eject the magazine. Eject the chambered round. Lock it to the rear. You're going to want to put this back in your magazine of 9. Alright, we'll see how we're doing here. My point of aim was kind of lollipopping, which means I had the circle, right? And what I was doing was just take my fist like this. So my aiming point was right at the bottom of the circle. Okay, so we'll see where the rounds hit. And here we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Already pretty tight at mechanical 0. Pretty much where my aim point is, right? And so marking your targets, you mark them with the triangle. So you attach each hit with the line, all right? And you mark it, so that's 1. Next 3 will be next 3 hits, so there'll be another triangulation. Mark it with a 2, etc., etc. We figure out where our beaten path is. All right, steady position. Same sight picture. Move safe select switch to fire. And rounds on the way. 1. 2. 3. All right, now we marked 1 before. 1, 2, 3. Now we got 1, 2, and 3. Pretty good. Like that, like that. That's number 2. And 3 rounds. First round on the way. 1. 2, that might have been off. 3. All right, 3rd group. All right, 1, 2. Now we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 essentially. All right. So we're pretty much good to go. I could probably keep, sorry I had the pen cap in my mouth. We could probably keep shooting this where my center point aim, which is right here at the bottom of the circle. That's where I'm aiming, right at the bottom center mass of the circle. And this is looking pretty good for a 4 centimeter group at 25 meters. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna apply those 3 rounds here, second magazine of 9 rounds. We're going to apply those 3 rounds and begin triangulating on the 0 target. Okay, here we go again. Next 9-round magazine. Target is the 0 target, the top target. We will take our steady position, aiming at the top target. Center mass now. Try for center mass. All right, let the bolt go forward. Rotate your select switch to fire. And commence firing. On the way. 1. Man, so much stuff in the way. Hat, sunglasses, rims, everything is in the way. Remember to focus on your front sight post. That's where your focus is. And round 2 on the way. All right. Reacquire. Round 3 on the way. Well, you could see what happened here. Pretty tight. But we had one slip up, probably a breathing issue, which is why we don't make any adjustments yet. Do not make any adjustments off your first set of rounds. You're trying to reestablish your consistency. All right, so 1, this would be group 1 here. This is labeled 1. And rounds on the way. 1. 2. 3. So we're seeing some consistency here. All right, although I will admit that it's hard to keep. I mean, the front sight post covers this whole thing, so it's hard to, it's like wear, which is why some people they call it lollipopping, where you put the top of your front sight post underneath the target. That way you can't, there's just too much room here. But if you have this line here, you line up the top of your sight. That's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to do center mass. I think this time I kind of set the target, my aiming point for this line. I can't see that line. There's no way I can see that line, but I'm just seeing, from so far away. 1. 3. We have shot our 3rd group of 3. So what do we do now? Well, we need to find an average, and how do we do that? Okay, so we had our 3rd triangle here, or the 2nd triangle. 1, 2, 3. This was marked 2, all right? Here was the 1st one. All right, so where's the 3rd one? 1, 2, and here's actually a 3rd one right here, 3. So it's kind of odd. All right, but 3. So what do we do to average it? Well, what we do is we take the center masses of each group, and number 2 is tough, number 3 is tough, down here, and we triangulate it. All right, so it's basically around here and here and here, so basically here. And then what we do is we figure how many ticks of windage and elevation it's going to take to get us to center mass. So if we're about here, let's just call it, all right, this line corresponds with this 3 here. All right, so it's 3 left, okay, 3 left, and 1, 2 up. All right, so I'm just going to average it. It's right in between. Well, I guess it is right here on the 2. So 2 up, right? And from this line here, basically right here, 3 left. So 3 left and 2 up. That's what we have to remember, because that's what we're going to apply to our weapon right now. Okay, so now we have used our tool here to push in the detent. Hopefully you can see that. We push in the detent and rotate the front sight post. Now if you could see the relief here, you could see the word up with the indicating arrow to turn it clockwise. That is not the up to actually bring your sight post up. That's not what that direction is. That up is to bring your shot group up. So in effect, it's actually pushing the sight post down into the receiver. If it's down, you're going to have to elevate your weapon higher in order to get to your target aiming point, which is going to raise your rounds. That's how it works. And likewise with the Magpul MBUS rear sight, what we've done, it says right is clockwise. Well, we needed to go left 3, so we turn it counterclockwise 3 clicks. And we are now ready to rock. Let's try it again. And Roger. 1 9-round mag. All right, these are adjusted rounds. So with any luck, we should be in there. All right, we're on fire, rounds on the way. That's 3. We got 2 in here and someplace else. I wanted to say this one, but this looks like a line here to it, so that's not it, but 2. All right, so that's 1 group that's in there. Let's see if we can punch 3 more holes in there in the black. All right, here we go, second 3 rounds. Magazine in, bolt forward, steady position. Very tough, so low to the ground. Normally I would do 2 sandbags and the sucker would be up here. But here, what happens is the firer adds error, right? The firer adds error. It used to be my pet peeve when my guys would be at the range and, you know, they would set their sandbags up and then they put their weapon in their hand, not even resting it on their sandbag. You know, I was like, get your hand out of there, rest your system on the sandbag. To minimize error, you put it on the sandbag and that's your pivot point. It's like a bipod kind of thing. So let me see if I can rotate and bring this a little bit higher. Oh yeah, that gives me a little bit more options. Okay, so good side picture. Select switch to fire. And rounds on the way. Blam. 1, 2, 3. Safe. Eject. Lock. Look. Clear. Recover. Bam. Wherever they hit, I'm seeing. So you just got to keep going. If you're finding that your group isn't in the center, all right, then you do the 3 rounds, triangulate each group like we did the first time. Then we average them by triangulating the center of each of those 3 groups. The center of that is what you use to move your center of impact. So like we did 3 left, 2 up. That's what we did, and we're hitting in the black. If you're still off, if your center mass group is still off, you know, after you've done another 9 rounds, make another fine adjustment. And you do that until you're never going to be one round follows another. It's not that accurate. There's too many variables that, you know, the wind, the sun, how much humidity there is in the air, you know, what your front sight post is looking like, all your normal shooting errors type things. Those are all things that need to be compensated for, and that's always going to induce errors. But if your shot group is within that 4 centimeter circle, then you're good to go. So I'm enjoying this. I'm going to go ahead and plink some other rounds. So let's go like this. Boom. If we can make a detent in that sucker. That's definitely going to bring our elbows up. All right, elbows up. And lift the platform to us. Bring it up to us. Right? We can't be a slave to the platform. Right? So that's also another reason. That's also another reason to look at your fighting kit. Right? How are you able to incorporate your uniform into how you fight? That's another discussion. Anyway, time to do some plinking. All right. Oh, another thing I want to talk to you about. Let me go back to safe here. And that's firing grip. A lot of people have issues. I have more problems with pistols with my trigger finger than I do with rifles, and that's because rifles give me the ability to apply what I call the samurai grip. And what that is when you hold a samurai sword, most of the strength, the gripping power, is in the bottom palm of your hand, right? And so you kind of grasp that, and your gripping power is in your pinky and ring finger, right? The rest is just a guiding kind of thing. So what I do is I kind of apply that to the rifle grip. And I don't know any school that teaches it. It's just something I came up with as a warfighter back in the day and a trainer. But anyway, what I do is, because of the size of my hand, I have small fingers, that helps me rest, right, the edge of my finger. On pistols, I have a problem because I used to have, I would put the edge of the trigger into my joint seam here, and that would cause me to, move the barrel to the right whenever I squeeze, which was causing an error. But with firing platform in a stabilized firing, what's the word? I'm sorry, I'm having one of those TBI moments. In a steady firing, in a prone supported firing position, thank you very much. I'm supported here. This is like a bipod, right? And I'm able to, what I do is, I'm just barely able to reach that trigger. But what I do is, as I grip the pistol grip with my bottom 2 fingers, right, I apply a downward torque. I kind of torque the pistol grip, and what that does is, and I'm unsafe, so I'm not going to fire because I am locked and loaded, but what it does is it allows me to put pressure on my trigger finger right there at the break point, and it helps me to do a better job of squeezing the trigger. All right, so here we go. Hopefully you can see it now. No wonder I can't see. All right. Safe, eject magazine, I'm out. I'm reloading for another 9 because we're just having fun now. Bam, back on target. In fire. On the way. Same sight picture every time. Make sure your focus is on your front sight post. That way you're making sure that you're not moving that muzzle. And out. Okay, well, the proof is in the pudding, and we just put, I believe, 12 rounds, 9 from one mag and 3 from the first one, finishing to 0. And as you can see here, I didn't capture each hit with the other camera. I turned it off, but yeah, I think we're good to go on the 0. All right, maybe, I mean, you can see here, I may be able to bring it left maybe one more click and call it good. So let's do, there's no way to triangulate that, but what I will do is I'll aim here now. I'll aim at this one. This is a little bit larger than 4 centimeters, but we're still working at 25 meters, so we'll see what kind of damage we can do on this pistol target. All right, 20 more rounds, 2 magazines, bottom target. Lock and load. A little bit of torque right here, like I was talking about. Rest that trigger finger on the trigger and squeeze all the way. Safe. Eject, eject, eject. Load. And fire. The proof is in the pudding, man, okay? So, center mass, I probably could go another one click over. You got onesies and twosies up here, a couple down here. Well, this is part of the zeroing from last time, so I'm not sure. Yeah, this is part of the triangulation here. So all my stuff is like right here. Remember that scene from that Clint Eastwood movie? The heart, you gotta hit the heart. All right, so that's where I'm at, and I'm aiming center mass. So yep, I can adjust one a little bit, but it's obvious that I am like in the black. A couple of differentials, you know, breathing issues and stuff like that. Nobody's perfect, but this is the group, 20 rounds. So there you have it. And that's zeroing, people. Have a good one.